I'm Mark Sardella. Today is May 21st, 2008, and this is Local Energy News. We are bringing you news from around the world with a focus on efforts to build local self-reliance in energy. Each week, we also provide a commentary to deepen your understanding of the policies and practices that help or inhibit your community's efforts to create a more democratic energy system. First, the news. Crude oil prices in the U.S. climbed another $2 per barrel yesterday, closing above $129 per barrel on the New York Mercantile Exchange for the first time. Yesterday's increase in price of $2 per barrel results in an additional loss of $20 million per day from the U.S. economy, about 6 times what the Department of Energy currently spends on energy efficiency and renewable energy. Nuclear power advocates are touting the benefits of miniature nuclear reactors that they say could allow an apartment building, a neighborhood, or a small city to generate its own electricity. Several designs are said to be nearing commercialization, including a 200 kilowatt unit developed by computer maker Toshiba and a 25 megawatt unit that will be made by Santa Fe, New Mexico's Hyperion Power Generation. Hyperion recently received an undisclosed amount of venture capital funding and plans to build 4,000 of their miniature nuclear reactors, each capable of powering about 25,000 homes. Hyperion's plan is to bury the units underground, then come back every 5 years to dig them up and replace them. No plans for disposing of the radioactive waste appear on the company's website. New Mexico's largest utility, PNM, was back in front of the State Public Regulation Commission last week, requesting another increase in electricity rates. Last month, the Commission wound up a 15-month hearing by allowing a 6.3% increase in rates, less than half of what PNM had asked for. The company filed a motion for rehearing in which it threatened to appeal the case to the state Supreme Court. The Commission promptly docketed another case and hosted just 3 additional days of testimony. PNM is asking for terms that would allow it to raise rates as needed to cover higher costs for the fuel and power it purchases. The state attorney general, charged with protecting ratepayers, appeared at the hearing but spoke in favor of the utility rather than on behalf of ratepayers. 4 of the 5 commissioners were absent for most or all of the 3-day proceeding. A decision in the case is expected tomorrow. And now some commentary. Regulating electric utility companies to ensure that they act in the public interest is a messy proposition at best. At worst, it's a tangled web of corruption and political maneuvering, aimed more at calming a hungry beast than ensuring fair rates and reliable service. Regulation of electric utilities began in recognition of the economic power utilities wield as providers of a service that is so central to our lives. In theory, regulation prevents them from exploiting that power for selfish purposes. But 100 years after utility regulation began, we still struggle and often fail to maintain the upper hand. Part of that struggle is the sheer enormity of the task at hand. U.S. investor-owned utilities hold more than $1 trillion in assets on their books, and the real value of those assets to our economy is many times larger. The real failure of electricity regulation in the United States is a failure of perspective. We still view our electric power system in one dimension, as if power can only flow from central power plants to the rest of society. The few small allowances we've made for customers to install solar panels on their homes only hint at the potential the grid holds for interactivity. It's time to begin transforming our electric power grid into a fully interactive system of two-way power flows, an energy internet of sorts. Imagine a system in which tens or hundreds of thousands of small energy devices stood ready to provide whatever the grid asked for, whenever it asked for it. Some early musings on this topic have given rise to buzzwords like smart grid or gridwise in the United States, but such efforts have amounted to thinly veiled attempts by utilities to increase their control over the grid. The real promise of an internet-style power grid is in removing central control, just as the internet did, empowering all participants to contribute to the system when they have more than they need, and take from the system when they don't. This internet-style architecture for electric power is under development around the world, particularly in Denmark and the Netherlands, where they have deployed what they are calling active power grids. Their systems have enabled faster growth of small power systems, and with it, vast improvements in the efficiency of their electrical generation. More importantly, their systems invite thousands of new participants into the field of electric power provision, ensuring a more democratic energy system than could ever be possible with the central control systems used in the United States. For more on active electric grids and their potential to transform the electric power industry and promote independent, community-based generation, check out our website at localenergynews.org. I'm Mark Sardella. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.